RITC Cybersecurity, empowering businesses with robust cybersecurity protection.
Welcome to Cyber Reality from RITC Cybersecurity, where the real threats of the digital world come alive. This week, we're about to unravel the latest threats, expose daring hacks, and the dangers of the cyber world. On the docket today is SOC 2 audits, along with some jaw-dropping headlines. On Cyber Reality, we are unleashing cybersecurity tips and tricks that could be the difference between safety and disaster for you and your business. I'm Mike Rotundo, joined by my intrepid co-host, the effervescent and dynamic Mari Cherry. Are you ready to discover what's really hiding behind your screen? Connect with us at ritcsecurity.com/contact. And if you like the podcast, please subscribe. Now on to the news.
All right. News. SecurityWeek.com. Anthropic unveils cloud security to counter AI-powered exploit surge.
Yes.
So, I'm curious your opinion on this one. This says, Anthropic's Mythos AI model will not be the only frontier model able to compress the time to exploit to a meaningless number of minutes. Other foundation model developers will produce their own models with comparable capabilities. So, without their own specialized AI defense systems, defenders will be overrun. So Anthropic has now released Cloud Security. It says Cloud Security is now available in public beta to Cloud Enterprise customers. So enterprise customers only.
Right. For right now.
For now.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good idea?
Yeah. It's a good way to test it without them having to test it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's why they do that. So it's like, we have the software, we think it's done, we think it's ready, but in reality it may suck. So we're going to call it a beta test.
Right.
So,
but that's more attack surface, no?
Yeah, no, not really. I mean, they're plugging it in there, and then the idea is they're basically going to use it, and then they're going to request feedback from those enterprise clients, and they're going to want to say, all right, what was wrong? How many false positives did you get? Did it match up to the other software they were using for defensive measures? What was anything reported by your other tools that weren't reported in this? And the reason they're giving it to them for free is because they want them to do all that testing for them, because there's only so much they can do internally in a lab. You want real life testing.
Sure. That makes sense.
So,
would you be nervous to do something like that? I feel like I would be, but I'm still learning. So
I learned a long time ago when I was in the .com era that being on the bleeding edge of technology is not necessarily a good place to be. Leading edge of technology is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Early adopter, fine. But bleeding edge, it's you could be asking for a nightmare.
Yeah. So it could either be, I feel like it could either be one extreme or the other, really great or really bad.
Well, and the question is, have the developers gotten any better than they were when I was, in the early 2000s? I don't think they really have. I think that we still have the same, they're still human beings. And I think that there's always going to be, that's why, for a long time, so this takes us back when I was doing system admin type work. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't do an upgrade to a operating system until Rev 1 came out.
Okay.
Because the original release, the Rev 0, would inevitably, especially those Microsoft, contain a ton of issues. So, you wait till R1 comes out, which is generally within a couple months because they're getting all these bug complaints. Mm-hmm. Then it's safe to install.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So, although Microsoft being safe to install is questionable ever. Anyway.
I was waiting for something. That's fine. Yeah. You just gotta promote your favorite organization there just a little bit.
Yeah, we actually love our attempted overlords in Seattle. So
that's funny. Okay.
Actually, I was talking, this is a complete aside, but I was talking to a buddy of mine about how they're coming out with these new AI tools for the Defense Department or Department of War, whatever they're called, for these tools. And one of the vendors is Microsoft. And I'm like, well, what happens when they have to go shoot somebody into the blue screen of death? I'm like, well, I don't know if we've thought about that
yet. Maybe
Please reboot.
Please reboot. Good luck. Good luck with that.
Yeah. We are currently patching your system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? I don't think that would play out the way that they would hope. No. Okay.
No.
So it seems like I'm still having a hard time wrapping my brain around why someone would go with this.
There's a financial involvement.
Okay.
They're getting access to newer code. They're getting access to newer features. There is a trade-off.
Okay. Because I'm like, why would you? Seems too risky to just be like, sure, let me help you out. I mean, that's really nice, but
yeah, trust me. Wells Fargo's like, hey, screw it. Yeah, we'll take the beta.
Right.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. Okay. Okay, that tracks. Some money involvement or something.
And generally it's like a really small install, and it's like specific, so it's not going to be
okay.
And it's not like we are now turning our environment over to a beta AI solution. It's
Yay.
yeah. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's all I've got for that one.
Yeah, you just don't want your financial institution to turn into Oprah. Here's 1,000 for you, and 1,000 for you, and 1,000. Yeah, you get 1,000, you get 1,000, you get 1,000.
So generous.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next one is from cybersecuritynews.com. And I picked this one because of the name. That's why.
The name?
I mean, it's interesting too, but the name is what caught my eye. I saw it and I was like, oh, I'm doing this one. And then I read it and was like, oh, okay.
That's even more interesting.
This is a good pick.
Yep.
Also a little scary. Just going to put that out there just a little bit.
That's why we don't own Androids.
Made me a little nervous. All right.
Yeah.
Cerberus stalkerware on Google Play leverages accessibility abuse and Firebase for remote control.
Yep.
Okay. A dangerous piece of Android stalkerware called Cerberus Anti-Theft has been hiding in plain sight on the Google Play Store since October 4th, 2023.
And it was originally kicked off in 2018. It was there before, and it's come back.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because it's a stalker. And it's calling from inside the house.
The call is coming from inside the house. Yeah. Actually, that's accurate.
It is. Yeah.
So sold under the package name Comdot, I don't know, SSUREBREC. What would you?
Of course.
Yeah. And marketed as a legitimate anti-theft tool. Of course it was, because that's why not?
You're right.
The app is capable of silently.
We will keep everybody else from stealing from you.
Yeah.
While we steal from you.
But, I mean, we're going to do it, but nobody else will. It's like that. Only I can be mean to my siblings. You can't.
Exactly.
Only me.
Exactly.
Yeah. So silently photographing victims, tracking their location, recording audio, and wiping their devices, all without their knowledge.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty dang scary, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
Yeah. Said later, when a victim attempts to power off the phone, this app intercepts the shutdown dialog, dismisses it, and sends a screenshot of the lock screen to the main Cerberus app. Mm-hmm. And so then it makes you think that the phone is shut down.
Right.
Because the screen goes dark, but the camera, microphone, and the GPS remain fully active.
Yeah. That's why our friends that installed that AI tool without checking with us, sure, you can use it. It's already done all the damage it's going to do. Yeah. We highly recommend that you check with us first, but yeah.
Probably a good idea. Do a little research before.
Yeah.
Also, when things like this are happening and they've been around for so long, what are people supposed to do? How do we... If it takes professionals so long to find it,
most people will never find it, would be my guess. Yeah.
And then they're just, I didn't see in the article, because this is happening on phones, do they have to just wipe their phone? Are they just SOL?
That's the only way I would think that you could do it. I mean, is to clean it out. I mean, Pegasus, if you get Pegasus, you just might as well throw the phone away. Mm-hmm. Because wiping it doesn't work. I don't know on this one. I didn't see how to clean it, but yeah, I would guess that would work unless it actually intercepts that command, makes you think it's wiped it, and retains itself. So
Right.
in reality, a date with a hammer may be the best thing to do. Or pretend to wipe it and turn it into Google and say, here's my device. Can I have a new one?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. How often do you think that happens? People buying
Probably pretty
refurbished
regularly.
phones? Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're buying.
That's why I will never buy a used phone.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I never have, but I'm
Don't.
definitely not. I'm
No.
definitely not.
Nope. You should buy the new Apple 17.
That's my plan. That might be my Mother's Day gift to myself.
Very good.
Buy myself a new
Very
phone
good. Very proud
for
of you.
Mother's Day. I know. Look at me growing.
Yeah. Yeah. What I think is funny, just thinking this and taking this, like, how funny are some of those pictures that have been taken by that app?
Oh.
People like totally unknown, and like, what conversations have they heard, and what freakouts and what
The language.
think about and think about the data they can collect from that. I mean, my God,
Yeah.
blackmail,
Yep.
social engineering.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have some friends back when cell phones first came out where they would take pictures of them on the toilet like they were taking a dump, and they would send them around, and they would all make these funny faces and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
How many of those are like real out there? It's like, because the phone's there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, or how many people are just scrolling while they're in there anyway?
Yeah. Right.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
It's like people who leave their phone out, and their friends or whatever will take a bunch of random, like, stupid pictures of themselves.
Yep.
That could happen.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Well, that was
Also-
like one of the... Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, also, how many people like look down at their phone?
Right. Right.
That's fun. Anyway, I
Yeah.
was like, what?
So it just kind of reminds me of, finding an open device. So one of the things that we used to do when we were walking around, when I was working in corporate, if we found an open computer, we would walk up and we would send an email to the entire department that says free cookies at Jim's desk.
That's funny.
And it would go to a bunch of people, and it was like, oh God, Jim's left his computer unlocked,
Oh, shit.
But the first couple times we did it, people didn't realize what it was.
They showed up for free.
And they'd show up and they're like, where are the cookies?
Such a disappointment.
Yeah.
That should be like, if that does happen to you, now you have to bring cookies tomorrow.
That's a good idea. Mm-hmm. Or the security team could stand there with cookies and say, now this is why we don't do this, right?
Oh, man. Throw cookies at him.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm going to smite you with chocolate chips.
Smote. Moana.
Yeah, and here's the funny thing. So the app is listed on the store. Mm-hmm. It routes all its commands through actual Google infrastructure, so it looks legitimate. And it's called Firebase. And even checking the phone's settings will alert the stalker.
Yep.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. I feel like it's like awful. This is worse.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not worst case scenario, but it's up there.
It's not good. No.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's all of the things kind of rolled into one, and I can't believe it's been around for so long.
Yeah. Which is why, if you're towards the end of a relationship, don't give your boyfriend or girlfriend the phone, because you never know.
You never know. That's true. You never know. So anyone who does have an Android, watch out. Be aware. It's really scary. Quick question before we do move on.
Okay.
What would be your recommendation for someone who thinks that maybe this has been put on their phone? Just get a new one.
That seems to be the only solution, because if they're intercepting your commands to checking settings or anything else, they're obviously going to be locked into the point where they're not going to let you wipe it.
How can they find it? if it is, because it seems very sneaky and like it's just running in the background.
Oh,
It looks legit. So how?
it would be almost impossible to find, I think. Honestly, I think it would be impossible to find. I would, I don't know much about Android. I don't use them. So, go to the Google store and say, hey, can you wipe this device? I want to turn it in and see if you can get it done that way.
This could be on anyone's phone and they wouldn't know.
Yeah. Android, not iPhone,
Right,
but Android.
right.
Yeah.
Any Android user, this could be,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't know.
They would have no idea.
Oh, darn it. I hate that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the ultimate. You're really a victim here. You have no control over what's going on. And
All right. So PSA, if you're an Android user, go buy a new phone.
Yep. Yeah.
Dang it.
Buy an iPhone, buy a Samsung, buy whatever. I don't know, but Android is the most hacked. I mean, it's everywhere, but it's because so much of it's open source and it's hackable. And once you get on that Google Play Store, people assume that it's trusted, or even on the Apple Play Store, and that's the other problem. Is that whoever's vetting that software anymore isn't doing a very thorough job, or I don't know how they're doing. I mean, and back in the day, when we did BlackBerries, every application had to literally be signed by BlackBerry before it could even run on a device.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I never had a BlackBerry.
Yeah, and then they started to allow other people to develop software, and then you had to be approved by a BlackBerry to be able to do the signature.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Come a long way, but that seems like...
So far more secure.
Yeah. It was probably just too much, though, to keep up with, I bet.
Well, that was at the back of the beginning of this, before smartphones came out, and then it got to the point, it was just too much. But the other problem is they couldn't compete with the iPhones and the Androids because they were out there having the community build applications for it, whereas so they couldn't keep up with that.
Yeah.
But that's why, for the longest time, BlackBerry was the only device the federal government would use.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I remember the big fight that we had at Wells Fargo when people wanted to use iPhones, and we're like, no,
Really?
not a chance. No, God, no.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so...
Are you high? Not a chance.
What?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I feel like this is not even a relevant question, but if Blackberries were around today, would you use one, or would you keep your phone?
I would keep my phone now, but I was in a much different role then than I am now. Yeah. So, I mean, so the way the BlackBerry worked was every communication went through the same tower. So if I were contacting you, it went through Toronto, through their systems into you. It only went through one point, and then it would come back that same way. And so it would be looked at every time. Every communication through there would go. The other thing is that BlackBerries were also walkie-talkies, and BlackBerries were so you had speaker mode and you had all sorts of things. So it was a different functionality, and it was really simply just a business phone. You didn't have apps. You had phone, calendar, email, and that was it.
That seems kind of nice.
Yeah.
That seems kind of nice.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. You didn't even have Doodle Jump. So.
Huh. Yeah,
but the screen then was like 1x3.
Yeah. This little, I had friends that had them, but I never had one.
Yeah.
Wow. Makes me wonder.
Yeah. They were also indestructible because one of my coworkers accidentally dropped their Blueberry, which I think was like their BlackBerry, which was their version 3 or whatever, down an elevator shaft from like the third floor. And I don't know how. I mean, it just somehow, I don't remember what we were doing. So we get down to the first floor and we get in there. I think it's because everything was under construction, and that's why. And things still worked. And the case wasn't even cracked. It was scuffed up, but the phone still worked.
Wow.
So
I think I remember you telling me this story before. That is pretty impressive. Also, do you remember when those like waterproof and indestructible phones first came out? We're going off on a tangent. We're not talking about the news right now.
No,
We are
that's okay.
so far off the news for a minute.
Yeah.
But I remember when those came out and it was like, it's waterproof. Oh my gosh. Or like, I remember like all the like blue collar, like construction workers, everyone, that was like their phone.
Yep. Yeah. And then, well, it's like the tough books that Fritz talks about that they installed into garbage cans at dumps, garbage trucks that were running over the dump and, all that kind of stuff. And they were virtually indestructible. You could drive a truck over a tough book and it wouldn't.
What?
Yeah, it wouldn't phase it at all.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Fun stuff. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll get back. We'll get back to the news.
We're actually talking about SOC 2 here eventually, but right now we're back to the news.
Back to the news.
And if you like the podcast, please subscribe and contact us at ritcsecurity.com/contact.
Yeah. Okay. This is from cybersecuritynews.com. Education sector under attack from state espionage, spear phishing, and supply chain attacks. Okay, so fun stuff. Schools, universities, and research institutions across the globe, not just across the nation.
So more than Arizona. Yeah.
More. Yeah, a little bit more than just Arizona. A little bit. Yeah. Okay. They're facing a growing wave of cyber threats in 2026 with state-backed espionage groups, spear phishing campaigns, and supply chain attacks, placing the entire education sector on high alert. So this is from Q1 2026, shows that the education sector appeared in 20% of all observed advanced persistent threat campaigns.
Awesome.
Yeah. So what is the point? Why are they targeting
the research?
Research. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
China-linked groups lead the charge with Mission 2074, running 4 campaigns, followed by Stone Panda, Hafnium, and Lotus Blossom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Iran-linked Charming Kitten is
We've talked about that. I brought him up before.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I put it in here. I didn't want to not talk about it. Charming Kitten. Yep. There's a game called Exploding Kittens.
Okay.
Like a card game.
Really?
Yeah, Exploding Kittens. If anyone's into card games, play that. It's fun. Anyway, Iran-linked Charming Kitten is the only non-Chinese state actor observed. So interesting. And its activity aligns with known Iranian interests in targeting academic and research institutions across the Middle East, including Gulf states such as Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain.
Yeah.
Okay, and Oman.
Mm-hmm.
Did I get that right? Okay.
Yep. Oh, man. No, it's Oman, not Oman.
Oh, oh man! I thought you were like,
no.
Oh man, and I was like, oh no, what happened?
No, you're fine.
It took me a minute.
It was a bad joke.
I caught on too late.
Yep.
Okay. CIFIRMA analysts, that's what we're calling it, identified that victim distribution spans 27 countries. That's a lot. 27 countries, with the United States recording the highest victim count, followed by the United Kingdom, Japan, India, South Korea, and Germany.
Yep. People live there. Lots of them. Lots of innovation.
Okay. And so what do we do with this information?
Well, so the education systems tend to be behind the curve because they're generally state institutions, so they don't have the budget that a business would have. If you were a separate lab like Fermi Labs or something like that had huge had huge budgets and huge grants and that sort of thing, or Eli Lilly or something like that, you could afford to secure your stuff. Well, schools don't.
Not so much.
So and they're run by, typically state employees that have a standard way of doing things for the state.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of a bummer. That seems like something that should be addressed. Maybe.
Well, that's the problem, though. I mean, with the federal government stuff, the way they got around that is because, they have a lot of contractors that do the work now because, price or wages are stacked in the the federal and state governments, the federal governments, because you can only do, if you're this description, this is what you get paid.
Right.
So.
Okay. Well, that's a little depressing.
Yep.
I'm glad I picked that one.
Yeah.
And
we got to say some cool names, though.
That's true. There were plenty of cool names in there, and I appreciate that. Yeah. But that's all I've got for the news.
Yeah.
Anything
It says that the threat actors in the education space are going after email servers, FTP servers, and SSHD servers. The technology profile points directly to one objective: accessing research data and institutional communications rather than disrupting operational infrastructure. And they're going after intellectual property, basically. So.
Okay. All right. The more you know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But wait, there's more.
Yep. I feel like that was with a couple of the stories. It's like they just wait, hang on, and last week too. I feel like the same thing. It was like just there's more and more and more rolled into one attack.
Yeah. It's no longer I'm going for one thing. I am doing a massive attempt to overwhelm you on different levels.
Overwhelm, for sure. Is there a word for that? Do they call that something?
Shock and awe. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Combined arms attack. I mean, you can call it, but I'm sure pretty sure that there's some video game out there that they're using as, they'll come out with a name. So
probably.
Yep.
Probably. All right. Well, that was very exciting.
Yep.
That's the news.
I thought so. Yep.
So we're going to move on to topic.
Yes, ma'am.
SOC 2.
Yep.
So, System and Organization Controls 2, or SOC 2.
Yep.
So a compliance standard, I had to look this up, created by AICPA, American Institute of Certified Public Accountants.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they set the ethical standards.
Right.
Am I understanding that right? Okay.
That is correct.
All right.
And they are based off COBIT.
COBIT. Control Objectives for Information and Related Technologies.
There you go.
That's fun. I like COBIT. How did I miss that?
Yeah.
Okay. Darn it. I feel like
so that's how that'd be good to know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how they develop the CCs that we deal with, the CC1, C1. So that's where that. So AICP came up with this framework, and then they use COBIT to say, this is what we're looking for on each one of these.
Okay.
Yep. Sneaky.
So the more you know.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Everyone's just trying to learn. That's all. Maybe that's it.
Yep.
They just, all these hackers, they're just trying to learn.
Yep.
Just want more information.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Also from
Sorry, I was thinking about Ricky Bobby. I'd be like a friendly crack dealer. You want some crack? Yeah.
I think they're all probably pretty friendly at one point.
Yeah, at some point. Initially,
anyway. Point. Yeah, initially. Maybe not after a bit.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we don't need to go off on that tangent.
No.
Okay, so this is from the AICPA and CIMA. I've heard you, that's how you said it, right? CIMA? CIMA?
Yeah.
I've heard you say that before, and I don't know why. I never looked it up, I guess. Never put it together. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. So this is from them. A SOC 2 examination is a report on controls at a service organization relevant to security, availability, processing integrity, confidentiality, and privacy.
Right.
Okay.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah. A protection framework is how they call it, used to evaluate how companies protect customer data. So it's like asking, can this company protect customer data or whatever? Yeah.
Right.
So they have 5 different criteria: security, availability, processing integrity, confidentiality, and privacy, like we just said. We want to break those down a little bit one by one.
Sure, one by one.
Security.
Okay, security is the biggest one, and it's all about how you secure your data and what kind of processes and controls you have in place, and can you prove that they are actually there.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
So it'll do everything from your security policies, the vulnerability scans. If you have pen tests, are you doing them? That kind of stuff. Because the big misnomer about SOC 2 is that everybody's like, well, got to get a pen test for SOC 2, and it's like it's not a requirement. So it's only if you defined it. I think it should be.
Like across the board.
Everything should require a pen test.
Okay.
And if you need a pen test, contact us at ritsecurity.com/contact.
Maybe you could just save that. And if you need a pen test.
Yeah, exactly.
Just plop that into all
There you go.
all the episodes. Availability.
So availability just means is your data accessible? So,
yeah.
Can you get to it?
Yeah. Or systems stay operational and reliable.
100%.
Processing integrity.
So that means when you are processing your data, it maintains its original format. You're not losing quality or fidelity of the data. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could it be like when you have a Word document that has been reconfigured so many times that it's just you have to start over because it's no
it could
good
be.
anymore?
No,
It
it's
gets
more
to a point where it's like it's not working. I can't edit it the right way.
That would be part of it, but the other part of it is like the sentence C spot run, or the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. All of a sudden becomes quick fox jumped lazy dog. Because the data integrity is not there anymore. You're losing the fidelity of it. You're losing. But yes, corruption is also a big part of it.
That's the word I was looking for, corruption. I could not think of it. It was gone. Okay.
Yep.
Confidentiality.
That's as you're keeping your data secure. That's confidential. There's no data leaks. There's no, that's your encryption type stuff.
Protected appropriately.
Yep.
5, privacy.
Privacy is that your data is not leaked. This one actually, we don't get into the privacy one because it typically requires an attorney. There's a whole lot of privacy controls that have to go into place, and there's, it is what the name says. It's privacy. It's about making sure your data is not only secure, available, and confidential, or confidential, has integrity, and is available. It also is maintained in a private format. So,
and do these apply to both types 1 and 2?
SOC 2 type 1 and SOC 2 type 2, yes.
Okay.
There's also a SOC 1 type 1 and SOC 1 type 2, but those are financial audits.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to get into that. We could, but we're not going to do that today.
Nah.
Okay. So I found a couple examples sort of trying to explain SOC 2 type 1 and SOC 2 type 2, and you tell me if these are accurate or
I will chime in.
Okay. SOC 2 type 1 is like a single snapshot, one point in time, confirms controls are designed correctly. SOC 2 type 2 is more rigorous, a longer duration, proves controls function effectively over time.
Correct.
Is there anything else to add?
No, that's the exact explanation I would have. Good job.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
10 points for Gryffindor.
Yay! Well, maybe Slytherin.
Okay.
It's just Bellatrix over here.
Yeah.
Okay. What else do you have that I have not touched on that you feel is important to bring up for SOC 2?
The one thing that people misidentify is that it is not an IT only audit. It is a whole of company audit.
Okay.
So
can you give me a couple examples?
Well, it involves everything from HR to, IT to accounting to, you're dealing with fraud, you're dealing with hiring practices, and you're dealing with your board, and it's dealing with, is your board qualified to be your board, those kind of things. So,
okay.
So it's not just, what technical controls you have in place. It's not like PCI or one of those where it's mainly focused on your technical controls. SOC 2 is truly the company as a whole.
Okay. All right. Maybe we should have pulled up some examples and run through a few of them. That would have been fun.
CCs, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe not.
No, next time. It is our podcast. We can do more.
Yeah, next time. Every time you say board of directors, though, I think of this cartoon, Boss Baby.
Boss Baby. I don't think I've seen that one.
It's really funny. It's a baby who comes, it's like this kid, his parents are like, look at your new little brother. And he's in this cute little suit. And it turns out that he's from this organization and he's undercover as a baby. So he's actually the boss at this other place, but he's an actual baby and he drinks a special formula. Anyway, whatever. But he talks about the board of directors and the older brother goes, what's a boring director? Or something. Like, what? And that's what I think every time you bring up board of directors. I'm like, oh,
gotcha.
Boring. I don't know. They're probably not. They're probably great. What do I know? Anyway, I found this example. It's like, imagine a very special treasure chest and your friend puts their most like prized possessions in it, their favorite drawings, their like special drawings they made for, whoever. And your friend locks it and says, can I trust you to keep this safe? And then a SOC 2 is like making sure, or a grown-up comes and trust tests it. Like, so you say, yes, we lock the box, we protect the box, we can take care of it. Then this special checker comes by and they check to see if you do lock the box, if you have a list of who is allowed to open it, and if you actually follow that list of people on there who is allowed to look at these special treasures. And if you have a plan, if someone breaks into it. If you have a backup copy saved somewhere else, safe in another treasure chest somewhere else, maybe. And are you teaching all of your friends how to also keep the box safe?
Wow.
So there you go. I think my younger kids would understand that.
I think that was a great analogy for those that are
Technical?
not so technical type people. Yeah.
Yeah.
For non-technical people.
Yeah.
So
happy to hear any examples you have.
at that level.
No. or another. Let's see what you got. Maybe we could do a midpoint somewhere. I'll do the ones for kids. You can do something somewhere else.
I think the easiest explanation is because companies store your data, right? So you're trusting someone to store your data. Mm-hmm. The SOC 2 comes along and says, okay, you're storing Mike and Mari's data. How do they know your data is safe? You've said it's safe, but how do we really know it's safe? Mm-hmm. So we're going to ask you these 9 different questions that have, like 10 different other questions underneath it, just to verify that you're actually doing this. And then we want you to show us proof that you're actually doing it.
Okay.
So is that somewhere in the midpoint?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
We are awesome.
Good. Yeah. Killing it.
Yep.
Killing it. What else is something, if there was something that you could make known for people to understand SOC 2, is there something that stands out?
Well, one of the things is you can push back on the auditor. They're not always right. The auditor's not always right. If they come back with, I've been asked the question, how do you prove that all ingress and egress are blocked on the firewall? It's like, well, then there's, what? It's like, there's no data going in or out. What's the firewall for? Yeah. Questions like that. So don't rack your brain trying to figure it out. You go in and say, you can ask the question, say, what are you really asking here? Because this doesn't make sense.
That's a good point. But I think a lot of people don't understand that they can do that, or might not even want to do that.
Right.
It might feel a little intimidating and scary.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Because they think the
auditor.
They think that the auditor thinks they're God. Then the other people think that, this guy, I have to do this because they're an official auditor.
Yeah. I do want to walk through the auditing process a little bit. Could you just give like an overview of that process?
Yeah. I mean, very simply, it's, you provide a control matrix every firm is going to be slightly different, but the elements that there's a control matrix and there's going to be an evidence request. So you're going to submit a control matrix to an auditing firm and say, this is what we do based on the 9 criteria and all the sub criteria. These are the things that we do. And they're going to come back and say, okay, we want to know X, Y, Z on this one and X, Y, Z on this one. We want to see your logs. We want to see your policies. We want to see this, that, and the other thing. So you can prove to us, you say you do background checks on all new employees. Great. Show me all background checks, or give me a list of your background checks for all new employees during the observation period. But that's the key part. One of the key parts. Evidence is only valid during the observation period. So if you're doing a 12-month audit and you did something happened to you 2 years ago, that's not valid.
Okay.
So,
do people understand that, or are they offering information that they don't need to?
They're offering information they don't need to.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, technically, the auditor's not supposed to take it.
Really? Do they?
Yeah, it's not admissible as evidence, but they will. Yeah.
They will.
Yeah.
Does it work against you? Is that?
Well, they can, because then they can go and say, well, you had this problem, so you need to implement X, Y, and Z control.
And if people don't know that they can push back on that, then they're in trouble. They could be.
If they don't realize that they didn't have to provide that evidence in the first place.
And are they not held? The auditors, are they not held to a standard?
They are, but they only, the AICP only knows what's reported.
Shoot.
So they have a lot of paperwork to do, and they have a lot of peer review. So their goal is to be as thorough as possible and provide a justification for their actions.
I feel like maybe there should be an episode on audits.
Okay. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Possibly this month.
Yeah, there's a lot of information that I feel like people don't have that is important. Also, I don't want to make any auditors upset, but but I feel like there's a lot of information that people don't know, and it's like, well, if it's not reported, then nothing's going to be done about it.
Right.
But if people don't know that they can report certain things, that's really frustrating to me. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, okay.
So, case in point, my observation period is from March 1st, 2026 through February 28th, 2027. Okay. I got breached in March of 2025. If I provide evidence that I've been breached in 2025, you can all of a sudden say, well, what's your remediation plan? What have you done? Show me that this isn't here, this isn't here. If you never tell the auditor that, they can't dig into that.
Right. And you're not
obligated to.
Right. Okay.
So
I mean, I guess it could help you to have a better security, right? But I feel like you'd be hounded if you are just sort of not sure how to handle the whole process in the first place.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Well, that's the biggest thing, is that people are, well, I don't want to deal with this. These auditors ask these crazy questions, and and it's like, they're ridiculous. And how many times have we heard from clients say, "Oh, yeah, these guys are overwhelming," and we just, frustrating. Yeah.
Even sometimes for professionals who have been through this and know that you can push back and say, hey, this isn't okay, or I've already provided this multiple times, or no, go check this, it's over here. That's overwhelming anyway. And if you're someone who doesn't understand that you can do that, or push back a little bit and say, no, we're not going to do that.
Yep.
I can't imagine.
Yep.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we should do a whole episode on audits.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. Anyway, anything else that we can talk about for the audit process? I went off on a little bit of a tangent. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That never happens here, so we'll allow it.
No. The audit process.
Yeah. So they're basically going to ask you for evidence proving that you can do these things that you say you're doing. Right. So that's why you have to make sure your policies are really tight, because you don't want some stray statement in a policy saying we do X, Y, and Z, and then have the auditor come and say, well, show me this. And you're like, oh, well, we don't really do that. It's just in the policy because it's the template we downloaded from the internet, and that's what we just did, which then says, oh, so you've never actually looked at your policies. You have no idea what's in your policies. Therefore, why wouldn't I just audit the hell out of you? So, because that comes from the peer review that they have to do. So they are peer reviewed. So they are under, requirement to do the right thing. They are in a requirement to make sure that they can support their assumption or their assertions based on what they've found. But that's why you employ someone like in our ITC cybersecurity who, I've done SOC 2 auditing myself. I know when to tell an auditor to pound sand, this is not going to happen. This is an irrelevant request, or I want a clear request. How many times have you seen me say, no, tell me exactly what you want. Don't make me guess what piece of evidence you're looking for. So,
like your taxes.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that way.
No. So, and we provide that service where we'll do the audit. We'll deal with the auditor for you. We will,
audit liaison.
Yep. So, but that's one of the things is that, they do come off with some very off the wall things. The other thing is that there's no requirements in SOC 2. You define your risk, you define your controls. They can, so then what they are testing you is on the controls that you have defined. Mm-hmm. So, and they can't, they can say, well, you really need to fix X. They can't say you have to fix it by doing this. So
it's like they can give a recommendation, but that's where
they can say you don't have to listen to it.
Right.
But there's a lot of people out there that think, oh, well, the auditor said I have to do this, so now I have to go spend $50,000 to fix this small thing. Or the one big thing that kills me is that most auditors don't know their head from their ass when it comes from technical. They're accountants or they're tech adjacent of some kind. Okay. They are not technical people.
Don't have the background.
No, that's why as a technical person, being a SOC 2 auditor drove me crazy. It was like, no, you can't.
No, you can't.
No. So, that's the thing you have to keep in mind is that they're most likely not technical. You know more about your systems than they do. Yeah. But they are going to look for any little excuse because they have to cover their rears. So if they they can't let anything slide either.
Right.
So unless you have a justification of why, and it's like, well, how many times have you see me say, well, we accept the risk. We're not doing this because we accept the risk.
Yes. Which is completely okay.
Yeah. And that basically leaves them nowhere to go. Now you can't do that on every question.
No. And you wouldn't want to either.
No. You really want to go in this with, you want to put your best foot forward, but it's just sometimes there's a ridiculous request comes out and you're like, no, I'm not doing it. That's stupid. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah. And it's kind of based on the organization. So it's not like you could create a rule across the board because it wouldn't apply to everybody.
Right.
Like a guideline across the board. It just wouldn't,
right.
It wouldn't apply.
Now, on the flip side, I have worked with internal companies and I could not stay longer because of the issues, but there was a guy that we dealt with at a software development firm, which later got bought by Microsoft. Big surprise. They're actually a fairly sizable company, a multi-billion-dollar company. Cool. But he would randomly pull things out of audit scope in order to pass an audit because he knew they would not pass audit. Whoa. So he would deliberately not tell the auditor about these systems. So one of them was a bunch of deprecated servers that had a CDE, credit card data environment that was completely deprecated. And they're like, they want a scope. And, I jumped in the middle of this with we're going to do a write, and said, no, we have to fix these. And IT's like, well, we don't have the budget. And it's like, I chimed in and said, it's not your problem. It's the business unit owner's problem. He needs to get this fixed before we can do the audit. Well, I got outranked by the guy that does the auditing for, the company, the hatchet guy for the CEO. He's like, oh, we're just going to leave it out of scope. And I was like, the hell we are. And, went back and forth. And ultimately, I won that one. But there are times when, because you go to the CEO and say, look, this is our exposure if the system gets breached. Mm-hmm. if we hide this and then the system gets breached, it's big time fines.
Yeah.
So we don't want to play that game.
No.
Whereas, some people would have just let it go and you don't take your chances, but that happens a lot in corporate America. So these audits that are out there are great, but there are unscrupulous people on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So, and I've told this story before, but there was one place I was working that was getting PCI audited, and the woman in charge of the PCI audit from our side was sleeping with the auditor. So,
if you want to pass your audit,
yeah.
Oh no!
I guess that's one way of doing it.
Oh no! Don't do that. Come on now. Come on.
Different time of connectivity. So.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, teach their own, I guess. I would not recommend, but
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So.
Cool. Okay. Well, is there? That's all I've got. But is there anything else?
That's kind of a high note to end on.
Yeah. We do have questions.
Okay.
But if there's anything else you feel like we need to just say real quick about SOC 2 before we move on.
No, I think it's important to have, and it's actually a differentiator. You look at the cost and go, I don't want to do that, but you think about all the business you can lose by not doing it.
Yeah.
Because security, believe it or not, security looks like a sunk cost, but in reality, it's a moneymaker in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. Questions. I've got 10 questions. So
okay.
We've been through all of these, but whatever.
Gotcha.
Okay. Number 1, in your opinion, is there an uptick in SOC 2 reports? If yes, why?
Yes, there are, because it's becoming more and more of a litmus test for doing business with people.
Nice. Cool. Okay. That's part of that. It's not a sunk cost because it sets you apart from your competitors.
Exactly. It'll help you win business. So if there's 2 clients out there or 2 vendors out there and one has a SOC 2 and one doesn't, the safer move, even though the one without a SOC 2 may be better, the one with the SOC 2 is less risk and people are unwilling to take risk, and therefore
safer bet.
They're going to go with you.
Mm-hmm. 2, simplest terms. What is the difference between SOC 2 Type 1 and Type 2?
Type 1 is a point in time. Type 2 is a extended period where evidence is provided.
3, does a company need to be large or enterprise level to pursue SOC 2 compliance?
No, it doesn't. We have companies as small as 7 people that are getting SOC 2 audits. Though I have been advocating for a long time, and no one seems to be paying attention to me, is there needs to be a SOC 2 for small business.
Oh, interesting.
Because, asking a company of 7 people what your board succession plan is just makes no sense.
Right.
It's like, well, I own the company and I do most of the work, and I guess the board succession plan is when I sell it, I leave and go sit on the beach.
Yeah. But I guess because you do kind of make your own rules with SOC 2, is that the right word? Rules?
Yeah.
Then you can just say that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What are a couple examples of security controls auditors are looking for during an assessment or during?
They're looking for vulnerability scanning. They're looking for your incident response plan. They're looking for evidence of issues that have been remediated and how you've done it, and made sure it's been done in a timely fashion and you're keeping to your SLAs, your service level agreements. They're looking for all your policies. They're looking for, background checks, those kind of things.
Okay. Why is SOC especially important for SaaS companies and cloud service providers?
Simply because of that is that differentiator, right? It makes you stand out. So SOC 2 is just that way of saying, yep, I've been approved by someone else.
Okay. What are some common mistakes organizations make when preparing for a SOC 2 audit?
Well, the first one is assuming it's just an IT audit, not that it's a whole of company audit. The second one is trying to do it trying to do their first one on their own.
Yeah, that's too bad. How does SOC 2 help build trust with customers and business partners?
Again, it's that credibility from a third party.
Mm-hmm. Someone else saying they actually...
Yeah, we verified that all these things, and we have all this credibility because of who we are. So,
all right. Can a company pass SOC 2 if they have weak cybersecurity practices but good documentation?
No, because they don't think they'll get through the evidence part of it. And if they have good documentation, they should be stipulating the evidence that they have. And if they can't provide that evidence, then they won't be able to pass. But I would not put it past companies to generate evidence on their own.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, for a while, there were a lot of disreputable SOC 2 firms out there that would basically, I need a SOC 2. Okay, we're going to go generate all your documentation, do everything like this, and tell you exactly, and create everything. And so, for $5,000 turnkey, they would give you everything to pass a SOC 2 audit, and they were still, they're not so much anymore. They cracked down on them, but they're still part of the ICPA, and they would just whip these things out. They were just mills.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a bad idea right off the bat. Why would you?
100%. Yeah.
All right. How do frameworks like NIST and ISO relate to SOC 2?
Well, you need to have a security framework, or at least it's recommended that you have a security framework. And NIST is a great framework. So is ISO. NIST CSF is very simple. The goal of the cybersecurity framework is to mitigate risk and minimize risk in your environment by putting controls in place that will prevent bad things from happening.
For small businesses just getting started, what are the first practical steps toward becoming SOC 2 ready?
The first thing would be engage someone who knows what they're doing, a company that would do that. But, start getting your practices together, decide what your security plan is, and then figure out, find someone to coach you through it.
Mm-hmm. Like RITC.
Like RITC Cybersecurity at ritcsecurity.com/contact.
You're on a roll today.
Oh, I'm falling apart here.
It's because you're going to be gone.
Yeah. Well, I'm still going to be working.
Oh, well, yeah. Darn it. Okay. Well, those are all my questions. Good job.
That's it?
Great job. Yep, that's it. That's all. That's all I've got.
Cool.
Yeah. Made it.
Yep.
Made it through the wilderness.
All right. Don't miss next week's episode of Cyber Reality, where we unravel the stories you can't afford to ignore and dig deep into HIPAA compliance and the changes coming your way. Are you ready? Tune in next week for stories that might just change the way you see the digital world. Be sure to look for our videos on X, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. Connect with us at ritcsecurity.com/contact. And if you like the podcast, please subscribe. Remember, cybercrime is bad. Love RITC Cybersecurity. Thanks for listening to the Cyber Reality Podcast. Say goodbye to the good folks, Mari.
Bye.
Bye.